Good evening. Back again. I know this is a bit late and I was a little bit later getting on here. Sorry, guys, about this, but I'm here now, Friday evening. Have a beer with me. I just thought I would do another live stream. Um, I was a little bit late. I was mean to do it around, start the live stream around quarter past 10, 20 past 10, but here now though. So hopefully we get a few people in. Um, Plan is maybe play a few tunes later and can have some fun. Um, so I'll get the link posted out on Twitter, and then we'll get right into it. Hopefully, this is an okay time for starting a live stream. Don't know if Penny Bunny or anybody like that is on right now, but okay, there we go. That's the link sent out now. So we'll just give it a few minutes. So hopefully we'll get some people in. So sadly, Wyndham Rotunda, aka Bray Wyatt, passed away. This just came out yesterday evening, right? Our time here, Greenwich Mean Time. It would have been around midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and this is really shocking. I just happened to come across it on my Twitter feed, and it was a post of The Rock, a tweet of The Rock's, and it was just shocking. Was utterly shocked. Booker T actually was doing his podcast and was on live as the news came through. He was just absolutely stunned by it, and just really is. The wrestling community really is in mourning right now. It really is it shocked the wrestling world. And on SmackDown, they're going to be doing a tribute for Bray Wyatt and Terry Funk, which that's a real good and real nice touch. They should put all the storylines aside, and that's the right thing to do. Your boys here, Maureen. Good evening. How you doing? Good to see you. So this is real tragic. You had so it's not just Bray Wyatt that passed away; it's Terry Funk as well. Terry Funk and Terry Funk had also appeared in a few movies. He was one of the villains in the film Roadhouse, that was a film in the late 80s. Terry Funk, though, he's another legend in the industry. And Bray Wyatt, Bray Wyatt left his mark as well. He really did, and just all the different gimmicks that he had. They started out with the Wyatt family. Then you had the Fiend character. Then you had the other Mister Rogers character. It was he really was something else. Just a unique guy, creative genius, and a really good guy when it came to on the microphone doing promos. I really enjoyed his stuff. I'm not going to claim I was a huge super fan, but overall I liked him. And Bray Wyatt, you don't hear anybody saying a bad word about him. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say a bad word about him. Very selfless guy, went out of his way to help other people, wasn't a politician, and yeah, just one of the good guys in the industry. It's the same thing with that guy with Brody Lee, Luke Harper, who passed away, the old teammate of Bray Wyatt. Another guy. It came out of nowhere. It was quite shocking, and no one had a bad word to say about him. Everyone's had nice things to say about him and what a good person he was. And yeah, so it really is. Yeah, it's shocking, and it's like it's weird because I was out with my dad yesterday for a beer or two, and I was thinking to myself about like just people in this world who are unique. Certain people you just look at and you think they like really are their own person. They're not like anybody else. And a guy that I looked up to, Ultimate Warrior, he had a quote about, he said, do you realize your fingerprint alone makes you different from all the over 7 billion people on the planet? I was just thinking about that. And then Bray Wyatt, he was really one of those unique people. He was tapped into his own frequency. And yeah, so rest in peace, Wyndham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt. And thoughts and prayers go out to him. Only 36. Yeah, that's right, Maureen. It's funny because even BBC News reported on it. BBC News reported about it today. BBC News not normally report on these things, when it comes to professional wrestling. So they did a few minute segment on it, and it wasn't nothing, very somber tone. They weren't making a mockery out of the business, and yeah, but it's just yeah, the wrestling world really is stunned right now. Bray Wyatt, because he was actually scheduled to be on the big show like the WrestleMania. WrestleMania, for people who aren't wrestling fans, is Super Bowl and the wrestling world. He was scheduled to be on a match. This was back in early April time, but then he ended up being dropped off the card, pulled off the card. Some people thought, oh, is Bray Wyatt in trouble? Has he got heat? And nothing came out that later on though that it came out that there was problems there health wise. But I think they've made it a point. The family and obviously friends, they aren't going off stooge into the dirt sheets. This has been very much on the down low, very quiet about what's been going on. Um, there has been a few different there that he was battling a very serious illness. But then later on, I think it was just last week, Matt Hardy came out and said that he was fine and he was well and he was making progress. So now to hear that he had died just at 36 years old of a heart attack, he was 36 years old and he died of a heart attack. So this is just really sad what's happened. And thoughts and prayers have to go out to the family. He's left behind 4 kids and his wife. She was a announcer at one point in WWE. Jojo, Jojo Offerman. So yes, just a really sad day, and I believe there'll be many tears shed on this SmackDown show tonight from many of the talent. Yeah, that's right. Undisclosed illness since February. Well, apparently so that he was going to he was cleared, and I mean he's had couple of different. I mean, he was somebody that actually they let go and 2 years ago, but then last year he came back, and then all of a sudden, then though he gets pulled off the biggest show of the year. But yeah, but it generally is very surprising though. It's that's what they're saying though. It's not like it's drugs, alcohol, or steroids, or whatever. This is the heart attack, and it's something in relation to COVID. Just sad overall though. Just one moment. Sorry. Wife said illness was COVID related. Yeah, that's what I read as well, Maureen. Yeah, that's right. Yes. Yeah, yeah, no. It's probably just quite late on a Friday night. Maybe not the best time for doing a live stream, Maureen. Lanny, he's into wrestling. He commented on one of my videos earlier on though. Um, but it's Still a bit of a later time to be doing this. Just reading some of the stuff here. So someone, an old wrestler by the name of Tommy Dreamer, he said about Bray Wyatt, "I'll always remember his connection with the fans and how they loved him. He was different, and I always say different is great. He looked different, he acted different, his work was different. From the characters that he has to his funhouse, the follow the buzzers when he was with the Wyatts, it was just different. It was unique." So one of his gimmicks at the start was like this film, you probably heard it before, the Cape Fear. It was like a cult leader persona. He had like a Hawaiian shirt, like I believe the character in Cape Fear had. Um, he said, "I feel you'll remember the rocking chair in his promos when he first came on. He was always mentioned in the same breath as Undertaker, like a different mythical type of person." And yeah, but it was just a really, really good characters that he had. He also goes on and he says his character was supposed to be an escape from the real world. We're supposed to watch wrestling or go to TV to shows for a night out to make us happy, to celebrate the things we love. You want to hang on to a piece of them. We hang on to these pieces with YouTube Peacock, with memories and stories, and that's how you keep these people alive. Yeah, yeah, I know. I thought we'd be a little bit busier. Yeah, Maureen. Yeah, De Niro, he was the one, wasn't he? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just that. It's just that. It's the Hawaiian shirt, was it, Maureen? Just creepy type of character, and just one moment. Gee, internet's playing up. One sec. But yeah, so I'm just chilling though. Friday night, got this Italian beer with me. I'm not drinking all the time though. I'm doing these live streams, so I'm not Matthew Steeples now. Yeah, I know. It's beer. Beer's my thing usually. I usually have a good old Tannins, but yeah, just really, really sad though. I mean, 36 is way too young. I mean, goodness me. And I said in a video that I did last night, a brief tribute to him. I still felt we hadn't seen the best of him when it came to his creativity. One of the greatest minds in the business. Chris Jericho's Fozzy, they did a gig in London, paid tribute to Bray Wyatt. Chris Jericho had a good program with him. Chris Jericho got the crowd singing, "He's got the whole world in his hands." That came a thing with Bray Wyatt. That whole got the whole world in his hands. Real cool. Something else here about Bray Wyatt. They said that he was so devoted to his character, he attended jury duty in full character. If he attended jury duty, this would include the Hawaiian shirt, a shirt, straw hat, and white trousers. But then again, though, would you have actually been there deliberating, or you're just like the hundred odd people, one of 100 people that go there, and then 10 get selected? Because I've had that before, and I hope I won't fricking have it again. It's just a bloody waste of time. But so a good few different people that are paying tributes online, and I'm sure they'll do a real. I mean, it's terrible when you have to have these type tribute shows, but they obviously do the right thing though by doing them. and not just carrying on like nothing had happened. Um, right. Do you think Steeples is starting to piss a few people off, Maureen? And some people are saying that he's got a thing with drinking, and that's kind of what makes him look a bit older. Like he's 42, but some people would maybe say he looks like he's in his 50s. What do you think? I've soured on him a little bit. I don't check for him as much anymore. Like, but yeah, but I heard though that the problem with Steeples and Sean Atwood is it was it that Steeples had said human trafficking. I think it was the thing of saying that trafficking word is what could have got Sean Atwood's channel shut down, or according to Sean Atwood anyway. But yeah, yeah, you're right. He is quite belligerent. Yeah, he just seems to go off people. Can be a bit rude at certain questions they get asked. Even if they're a little bit you maybe look at a question, you think that's a little bit dumb, but, these are people that are watching your stream, be a little bit nicer about it, but, you know. Yeah, I think it was the last stream that Atwood and Steeples did. That's the one I was saying about, yeah, that he had said trafficking, and he was told he has to watch what he says, beforehand. I've never, like, and this is the thing, like now, there will be the people that will like Steeples more, and maybe we're only really watching Atwood's channel mostly for Steeples. So you'll have those people that will go along to his channel and maybe don't check for Atwood anymore. But I still think overall he needs the Atwood rub, and Atwood knows what's the most popular topics, the things that people are talking about the most, right? And I think Steeples will just ramble on about whatever, but you probably need a guy like Sean Atwood to like still keep the kind of top all the topics of conversation under control and be the one asking the questions. But and that's mostly what Sean Atwood does. He doesn't really give his own opinion. He just asks questions. But from what I've seen, anyway. He keeps banning people for no reason. It'll wear off. He said he wanted to burn someone. Yeah, that was Lee Anderson. Yeah, it's like, and okay, maybe he said it in like a joking kind of way, but at the same time, it's like, is it really necessary? But yeah, so SmackDown will be on in about an hour or so, and I might check it out and see what it's like with the tribute show that they do. Um, but overall, just it's been a very sad week in wrestling. Terry Funk, now Bray Wyatt. two greats back to back, 2 days. It's just it was terrible. Yeah, Maureen, I know you said you really had a thing about the moderator, right? That they don't seem to like you don't click with that moderator. Yeah, I don't think he cares that there's no structure. He just wants to ramble on about whatever DVD box set he has or whatever, eh? It's and he's not the most tech savvy person either, but admittedly, I'm not either, but I still don't even really understand his background. That's the thing, though. Da da dee da 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 dee da da da. Whatever. Swig of beer. Ah, that's fine. I was reading something about Oliver Anthony. Richmond, north of Richmond. Check out the unofficial video I did for it. It said, Forbes have posted all this. It says, Oliver Anthony condemns conservative figures adopting Richmond, north of Richmond. I wrote that song about those people. Hmm. So it says Oliver Anthony, the country singer who skyrocketed to the top of the music charts for his working class anthem, Richmond, north of Richmond, criticized the politicians, namely conservatives who have attached themselves to his message in a video posted Friday. Anthony said he was disappointed to see the way people wrap politics into his music, and adding that he's aggravated seeing people in conservative views trying to identify with me like I'm one of them. The global singer said while he's thrilled with the global response on the song, he's annoyed with the musicians and politicians acting like we're buddies and like we're fighting the same struggle here. Yeah, because he did actually have DeSantis, use that Richmond, north of Richmond line in his when he was rambling on and whatever they bloody talk about in that debate, the GOP debate. Oh, oh, you mean what Steeples has been on? Are you talking about the moderator that's been on Cal's chat? Ah, you mean the moderator, right? But yeah, so if Oliver Anthony saying he specifically noted the songs mentioned at the Wednesday's GOP primary debate. DeSantis mentioned it and described it as funny to see the candidates discuss a song he said he wrote about them. Anthony said the positive response, multiple videos of the country singer performing Richmond, north of Richmond, have hundreds of thousands of comments and millions of views. To the song from people around the world terrifies the people that I sing about in that song. So he said that it's hard to get your message out about your political ideology or your belief about the world and missing some change, but I do hate to see that song being weaponized. I see the right trying to characterize me as one of their own, and I see the left trying to discredit me, I guess, in retaliation. Well, I think people would get the idea from he seems to be a bit more right wing, but I mean, if he's saying that he's not political or independent, centrist, whatever, then fair enough. Um, but so Anthony, a farmer from Farmville, Virginia, posted the song on the 1st of August, and it became an instant hit. Conservative politicians and pundit have adopted the song as their own. Marjorie Taylor Greene has called the song an anthem of the forgotten Americans who truly support this nation. Yeah, but as I say, I've done an official video on that, so you have worth checking out. I thought I did a pretty good job with it. Evening, Julio Cass. Hi, how are you? The Continental by Maureen McGovern, 1976. Okay, I can check that out. How are you, Julia Cass? I don't think Penny Bunny's had a call-in show tonight, has she? Or Maureen McGovern? Don't think I'm familiar with her that much, but good to see you, Julia Cass, one of the regulars. Um, let's see. I'll play it. Let me see what it's like then. Yeah, you should go back on, mate. You're great on there. Let's see this song then. Maureen McGovern, The Continental. Stupid adverts. Personal. The first few seconds, I thought it was James Bond. It's something daring, the a way of dancing that's really untrue. It's very subtle, the continental, because it does what you want it to do. It's about James Bond there. An invitation to moonlight and romance. It's quite the fashion, the continental, because you tell of your love while you dance. Your lips whisper sweetly, his eyes answer your song. Your body swaying, the continental, and you are saying just what you're thinking of. So keep on dancing, the continental, for it's the song of romance and love. While you're dancing, it's continental, oh, oh, it's continental. You sing while you're dancing. Your voice is gentle, oh, 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 and sentimental. You'll know before the dance starts that you're in love with him and he's in love. You'll find while you're dancing that there's a rhythm in your heart and a certain rhythm that you can control, and you will do that continental all the time. You have That's James Bond, right? Maureen McGovern, The Continental. So that's it was a little different. Maybe, I don't know, like a bit of a 1950s vibe there. It was out in the late 70s. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's bad that I dislike it, but I wouldn't say it was not exactly my cup of tea. I mean, I'm a 90s kid. I was born in 1990, a bit before my time, but wouldn't say it's entirely for me, that one. But let me just another swig of my Italian beer. There we go. There we go. All finished. Yeah. So another thing I was going to talk about, I was wanting to mention Kanye West. So with Kanye West, I mean, a lot of people were probably turned off by him when it came to all the stuff with the anti-Semitic comments last year. Um, some people might have given him a free pass with the whole DEFCON free and Jewish people, but I think he had totally crossed the line and went too far when he went on Alex Jones and he said, I love Hitler, or Hitler's a good man, and all this. Um, I mean, at that point, it was sad to see, because it was sad to see that there was a lot of people around him who were, taking advantage of him, and a lot of people who were like, I guess, pretending that they were his friend, but were really just using him, his name, his clout, his celebrity, um, to get that rub off of him. And I mean, it was really sad to see, because it was sad because there was people there who I know had criticized them and ridiculed them, but then they were going on, that he was speaking to them, and I guess he wasn't aware of what people had said about him in the past. And even the guy Milo, the guy that's the I guess the former journalist now. I don't know if he's really a journalist anymore. The Milo Yiannopoulos. You might have heard that name, Julio Cass. He was a guy that a lot of people kind of talk about him like he's maybe like he's like a Dan Wooten type. Um, he's a gay guy. Um, he claims that he's no longer is. It's like to do a Catholic thing. He's had conversion therapy. Some people say that's just bullshit though. But there's a lot of stories out there though that he has dirt on a lot of people in the conservative commentator that world, and he records phone call like meetings and stuff like that, and secretly and stuff like this. And some people have said that allegedly that a couple of months before he ended up being Kanye's campaign manager for him, wanting to be president in 2024, they had posted stuff on Twitter, but then later deleted it saying Ye is gay, Kanye is gay, and all this stuff. So that made me think, with Kanye coming out about all this stuff about Hitler and the Nazis, I mean, and all this stuff about Jewish people, it made me think, was Kanye compromised? Was somebody putting up Kanye up to this? Um, some people might just say that's just a total wacky conspiracy theory, and Kanye was just totally crazy before that. You know what he's like, kind of thing. And like, yeah, I get that, but it is possible though that yeah, Kanye was maybe crazy. He is crazy, but I mean, it's hard to write people off as crazy when you know they're really mentally unwell. And I, I try not to be one of those people with Kanye, but it's maybe possible though that somebody had some dirt on him, and they said, "Well, hey, if you better, this is what you got to do, or else we're gonna expose you." Maybe that's maybe a theory there. Um, Evening, Lanny. How are you doing? Good to see you, Lanny. Um, yeah, and it's interesting because somebody who's really in that celebrity world, I remember around that time them saying, if only you knew what was really going on with Kanye West. And I think also they mentioned Britney Spears as well, because then she's another person that's had a bit of an episode recently. And now that what is it, her husband now is wanting to divorce her, and yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff there with Britney Spears. I mean, God, she's had a real traumatic time, and just all the stuff there. You read into it, you know what I mean, when it comes to the you know the with these stars and Hollywood, and the whole stuff with MK Ultra and mind control. It's just these people that you think are living the life. It's like they're not really. They're slaves and unhappy. And I think even Britney said, back in 2006, 2007 time, I think she said, "Oh, I'd rather be homeless." And I don't believe she was lying when she said that. Um, but I see though, like, because one thing, and I've been critical of Kim Kardashian in the past, but this is a real tough time he's going through right now, with the 4 kids, and then seeing him have a breakdown in public the way that he's had. And, you know, that must be really tough for a woman, like, when she's seeing Kanye, obviously she may have not seen it, but she would have heard about it, Kanye going on an InfoWars, Alex Jones show and saying, "Oh, I love Hitler. Hitler's a good guy." And then it's like, well, what does Kim Kardashian do in that position? What does she do then? Um, Probably her instinct and her first reaction is, well, I don't want him around the kids. I don't want him to see the kids. But then at that point, though, if you're taking away that, him being allowed to see his children, that might just push him way over the edge. At that point, he might want to. I'm thinking the worst, but he might at that point then want to kill himself. So that's a real difficult position that she's in. And even though I've been critical of all that superficialness when it comes to the Kardashians, I do have some empathy for her in that case. Um, but you see now, and this is quite a cool thing that they've done though. Her and her daughter, North, they had paid homage to Kanye by wearing. This was like a blue and a navy blue orange striped Ralph Lauren top, and that he had wore back in 2004. This was part of the whole like, oh, backpack, I'm a backpack rapper gimmick type thing that Kanye had going on. And she wore the same top, his young daughter, who's only 10, and she wore that top, and she was dancing in the streets of Tokyo. And she was actually dancing to a song that Kanye did, American Boy. And that's quite cool what they've done there because at the end of the day, when it comes to these kids, that's their dad. And I did feel for Kim when Kim's talking about like people when I've got a game to go to and my kids they're sporting or I'm picking them up from school, and I've got one of the parents asking me about this or one of the kids, the kids' friends mention about Kanye. That is a hard, tough thing to go through when you're like that with the kids at school. Um, I just think Kanye, like in life, there we should have that thing in us to forgive people, and not many people though would get away with that though, would they? Let's face it, if you're a British person, somebody in the like Britain, a celebrity, you go on a talk show and you say, "I love Hitler. I think Hitler was a good guy." You are done forever. I don't think no matter who you are. But Kanye is a bit of a rare case where he will like people will forgive him though. But I guess it is what it is. Bipolar folks face challenges of people, of course, but people living depressed people are living with their behavior, and that's tricky one. Yep. Well, what happens? What happens there, Maureen, with that divorce? I mean, she's super rich. He's super rich. So does anybody? I mean, goodness me, what type of prenup would have been signed then? They got married. What was it? 2000 and was it 2014 time? I think. But she actually said that her hamster dying at 7 was an excuse, Lenny. Did she actually use that as an excuse? The thing is, let's say if Lucy Letby was innocent, then surely she would have been able to she would have faced the kids, the parents of the babies that were killed, that died. If she could have faced them and looked them in the eye and said, "Look, I swear to Almighty God, I didn't do this," but she didn't go there for sentencing. So that should tell you there that she was guilty, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Kanye though, Lanny. I mean, do you remember Lanny that text that got leaked from his trainer was at Harley, and the very kind of patronizing text about, oh, we can either have a loving conversation, or what we then can do though is we can institutionalize you again and medicate the crap out of you, and your play dates where your kids won't be the same again. And imagine that if you're reading that from somebody that's supposed to be your friend, right? Imagine reading a text like that. That's going to be one of the most chilling things you could ever read from someone, right? And I still wonder, like, maybe he was just so hurt by that his way of numbing the pain, and as fucked up as it is, his way of numbing the pain was saying things that were so ridiculous and outlandish and just going way overboard with what Kanye usually says. George Bush doesn't care about black people. Slavery sounds like a choice. Jumping up on stage and grabbing the mic off Taylor Swift. But he really went over the edge, though, with the Hitler is a good man comments. And maybe in a fucked up way, that was to numb the pain from that text that he read from the guy Harley that was his personal trainer at one point. He thought that was his friend. And from reading into Harley's background, it sounds like he was very much like a mind control handler. He looks a bit of a sketchy guy. If you look at him, just by looking at him, he's just got a bit of a creepy vibe to him. Like, Pen Bun has a spirit come through on our channel. What type of spirit exactly, though, Julia Cass? Lars von Trier said at press conference that Hitler had some interesting policies that worked outside of his mass homicidal finest solutions. Lars von Trier. Did Lars von Trier get cancelled over that, though, Lenny, or not quite? I'm not sure with Penny Bunny, all the stuff she says sometimes, Julia Cass, but Let Me didn't blame her hamster dying at 7. It was a discussion on the motive. Oh, they actually brought that up on a buddy, like one of those documentary type shows on her, and goodness me. Yeah, I mean, it was for somebody that just looked like a normal, regular, middle class British person. You'd think, no way she could have done it. But again, I felt from almost the offset that she was guilty, though. I was almost like, I would say I was about 95% convinced she had done it. That's like going back to like around, the time when first came to light, 5 years ago. A person called Lucy that stated personal things about Pen Bun and Paz. Too middle class. I don't know. She's just sometimes she comes off a little bit weird. I mean, some might say she comes off a bit rude, but I don't think she means it. Just how she's wired, but established film director. Some guys don't get cancelled because they say outlandish shit all the time. But yeah, Roman Polanski, all the people that in Hollywood that defend him. Weinstein defended him. Meryl Streep. Ewan McGregor. Not my cup of. We actually had somebody called Cup of Tea on the channel at one point, Maureen. He ended up being a bit of an idiot. We kicked him off, though. Yeah, I mean, she wasn't too bad with me. She just didn't know who I was, but I understand, though. She's got like 18, she had 18,000 subscribers at that time, so I get it. It's like, you're not going to know everybody and remember everybody's name. Yeah, you picked that up right away, Joe Cass, that he was a bit of a numpty, yeah. Oh yeah. I had brought up that guy with the wig before, Lanny. Yeah. He was kind of like shaved head, right, almost bald, and then just out of nowhere he puts on this wig, and like nobody even says anything. It's just like, are you just saying that to be funny, or like what? Or do you actually wear that wig? Do you go out in public and wear that wig that covered up your balding? I mean, like, what the hell was up with that? It's like, goodness me. I wouldn't waste my life checking out his channel, Lenny. I wouldn't. Sorry, Joeycast. Open mic night, want to be comedian. Yeah. And that's the thing. You generally have to know you're funny, right? You don't want to go up there on stage and embarrass yourself, eh? Yorkshire flat capper bloke. Yeah, there just didn't seem to be a good vibe there with him and Penny Bunny. She seemed to kind of belittle his points he made, and I didn't think his points that he made were all that bad, but she just didn't seem to get him or understand him. I did say I was going to do house music, but I do have a song though. See, let me what you think of this one. This is more like kind of like a garage one. Let me know. See if you know this one. B15 project feels so good. From around 2001, 2002 time. Most of this is more garage. Yeah, and you guys like garage? Is that your cup of tea, Lanny? Or there we go. B15 project. That's called "Feel So Good" with Shola Ama. I don't know if you guys remember the singer Shola Ama. She did a cover of Randy Crawford. You might need somebody back in the late 90s. And Miss Dynamite was the one saying, "Sing it to them, Shola." Miss Dynamite, you might remember her. It's not a bad one for me. Yeah, so Garage Lanny, that's more like, I don't know if you remember Artful Dodger. Do you remember that song Craig David had? Rewind. That was his first song when he came on the scene. So that was Garage. Garage was from around about 97 to 2001 time. Yeah, yeah, Sholama, you're the one I love. I like that one. I think she has a sister as well who's a singer, Sadie Ama. I'll look up that song, Duocast, you said. Got some, this is my baseline. I don't know. This is a song, this might get a copyright. I don't know. I might have to be careful playing this song. Defected Records. Carl Cox. I think Carl Cox was more house. Like he might have started out more like soulful house and then got into the deeps progressive house. Um he I think he got more techno as time went on, did he? Um uh I could play a remix version of it, Julio Cass. I'll see if I can get away with it then, but screw it then. I'll see this. There's a Drezzo remix. Let's see what this is like. So they say this is deep house, Julio Cass. it takes a while to get into the song, like with the intros and outros on house. Yeah, naked gun films are good, Lenny. Sometimes house mixes can be better, Joe Cass. Then other times originals are better. There we go. Baseline. That was not a bad one. I quite liked it, to be fair. Christine Blonde. Is that House, Joe Cass? House one. Bedroom Rockers remix. The song originally came out in 2000. Hmm. Uh, let's see. There's a electric boutique. Let's see. I'll click on this one. See what it's like. This is your brother's house. I'm not too big with trance, to be honest with you. Like trance, happy hardcore stuff. That ain't for me, but H2O did that Love Shy song. She did it this originally though, but I like David Bowie, Let's Dance. All right, okay. I'm not big with trance songs, so I'll stop that one. But I recognize that Love Shy song though. It was H2O. They had that about 15 years ago. That song, H2O. They had that song. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Yeah, Let's Dance. Craig David sampled that. Ah. I didn't know you were so big into that type of stuff, songs, Geocast, but I was more. I used before. I was usually just rap, hip hop. That was mainly what I was into. Past few months, I've really been listening to house though. That's mostly like all I really listen to. But I like other stuff though. I like jazz. I like just any type of like 90s R&B. You know. Yeah, I like all sorts of different things as well. I mean, I've even got time for like country music. You know, and yeah, I mean, there's a few different remixes online in Geocast that were there. No Smokey Robinson, but his first album was big, wasn't it? Born to Do It. And then what was the one after that? Slicker Than Your Average. I mean, it kind of went downhill from there, though. He wrote some pretty good stuff, though. I mean, for a guy who was only 18, 19 at the time, very impressive. I felt that way when I heard a Pitbull song, Julio Cass. But it was this Pitbull song called "Back in Time." It was from the Man in Black film, but the dance remix much better. It's much better than the original. Yeah, Pitbull. He's another one, like almost like Neo. You don't hear much of anymore. I saw Carlos Santana though was saying, oh, he was very controversial, right? He was like, oh, a man is a woman is a woman, and now a day later he's apologized for that. Only a day later, and he says sorry. India Ari. India Ari. Why do I feel like I know that name, but I'm not entirely sure? She's got a lot of subscribers online. 562,000. Worked with Akon. I've never heard of her. Never heard of her though. That's for another one, another time. Franz Ferdinand, they were okay. They were all right. I think those guys studied up here at Aberdeen University. Razorlight, they weren't too bad. Franz Ferdinand, though, Take Me Out, I liked that song, but again, I didn't buy their albums, so I couldn't really say, but some of their stuff was okay, though. Wasn't too bad. Um, okay, I'm just going to wrap this live stream up in just a minute or two. So, there's any other comments, any other final questions right away? Yeah. Even though it's a Friday evening, I'm going to still get to my bed early as myself, Geocast. Yeah, they were okay though. They weren't too bad, Franz Ferdinand though. Uh, okay, so I'm gonna wrap this live stream up, guy, just now. So thanks very much though for you guys that joined. The Cooks, come on though, Geocast, wasn't that accent? What was it? What? Oh, I can't verb because she moves in her own way. Oh, oh, oh. It's not about your makeup. They were all right. Come on. But yeah, thanks very much though, guys, for joining the live stream. Appreciate you coming on. So I'll probably be back Sunday evening. Can't say which time, but I'll probably be on then sometime. And so I hope you guys will be able to make it again. So thanks very much, guys. Pleasure as always. Thanks for the regs coming on, Lenny, Dewey, Cass, Maureen as well. Thank you very much. And yes, I'll be back again Sunday for another live stream. So thanks very much, guys. Take care. See you later.